Wait a second. I'll wait see.
So it's Friday morning. We're back on our morning show. Yay! I prefer the morning over the evening ones, actually. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out how Dave and I liked the movie we picked. We're going to find out what's been happening, according to We the Nerdy, in video game news. And there's a couple good ones. And then what you really want to find out, though, is what bone do I have to pick with Dave this week? All right, Dave.
Welcome to Forget Being Cool, episode 12 for June 30th, Crash Bandicoot Instant Trilogy Day. I'm Dave Moore. Joining me is my main man, my man on the internet, Jonny _Casino.
You realize you made it sound like you're saying Crash Bandicoot Instant Trilogy, and all I could picture is a little cat Crash Bandicoot on a stick, and you stick him on a little wood piece, a little hole in the end, and you light it on fire, and it slowly burns while letting off Crash Bandicoot smell.
Which is like what? The smell of Wampa fruit and old wooden masks, because that's and jungle. It's jungle smell. It's got to be jungle smell.
Yeah, something like that. Hey,
John, it is June 30th.
It is. And speaking of which, I brought my Switch upstairs. I'm going to do this while we're talking for a second. Today is the DLC day.
Who cares?
Millions of Zelda fans.
Crash Day. It's Crash Day, John.
I just don't know. Okay, first of all, go for it. I want to hear you just go crazy, and then I'll explain to you why I don't care as much.
This game I've been waiting for basically my entire life. John, you know, I've had a conversation before about how, like, the first games that I ever played was on the Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Barney, right? Those are the first games I remember playing as a kid, okay?
I'm very sad for you on multiple levels. Like, your childhood, I actually can now understand why you're wrong about certain things because of how you started in life. Sonic and Barney.
Okay, but the game that defined me as a gamer and made me realize that I'm going to love video games for the rest of my life is Crash Bandicoot. Right?
Okay,
and the fact that they are remaking these games almost to like the perfect, like with all the flaws that existed in the originals and everything else is just perfect to me. I can't wait. It reviewed great, which means they didn't like make like some half-baked garbage game. They fixed a lot of the problems that were like actually wrong with the game, like not having time trials in the original games, not having box counters. The save system in the first game was broken because it was all passwords, all sorts of other nonsense. Because guess what? People didn't have memory cards yet. This is the moment of my like childhood coming all the way around, John. I get this game today. It's going to show up from Amazon. It's only $30 because Amazon's awesome. And I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play through these games. I'm going to 100% them. This is going to be the first game I platinum.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know if I believe that.
I'm going to try. All right, let's put it
okay. Now, I believe
this. This is the first game that I'm going to like go, I'm going for the platinum. Like, if this is the only platinum I ever get in my entire life, which I don't have a single one, this would be the game I'd be happy to have it in.
Okay, so here's a couple problems I have with this.
Okay.
Right? Like why I'm not convinced yet.
Okay.
All right. First of all, in the last over a week, right, that I've had my PS4, I put 15 minutes into it. Now that's going to change today. Like today, I know what I got going on this morning. I probably have plans that'll keep me busy till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I'm going to say, family, step back. I'm spending 2 hours playing PlayStation.
Can you just get this game, John, please?
Okay, so that's problem number one. Problem number two, I'm not going to have nostalgia for it.
Yeah, but
if it's just
but that's the point. Is it's meant to be a game that will appeal and appease the people who don't have nostalgia for it. Because if you go back to the old ones, it's rough. This is not rough. This is going to be the best linear 3D platformer ever made. Period. End of God. End of God.
People will argue that.
I am so tired.
Love Galaxy.
Okay, but Galaxy is Mario, and Mario just needs to shut his mustache and face. Okay? Crash.
Wow, Dave is salty this morning.
All right, this is when my PlayStation fandom comes out here right now. All right, I think the PS4 is the cheapest, crappiest console ever built. Period. End of story. But
I couldn't tell you. I haven't had a chance to play mine.
But this is my favorite 3D platformer ever. I will fight people to say that this is my favorite 3D platformer.
Okay, I will look into it because it was suggested to actually both of us, and I have followed up with someone else asking them. But I was suggested that I should get Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, I really like Ratchet and Clank.
It's $8.
How much?
It's $8 right now.
Oh yeah, get that. Don't even think about that. Don't hesitate. That game is great. Now, the story is kind of garbage, but so is it in Crash, so I'm not going to hold it against that. But the gameplay in Ratchet and Clank is solid. The weapons are amazing. I love Ratchet and Clank.
Now, but have you played the latest one? The one that's based on the movie that's based on the game?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the new one.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe while we're talking, I'll go on the app, which you seem to not like the app. The app has worked really well for me.
I just don't really like PlayStation's system right now.
Okay, so you're just but I need to go on. I need to add Jeremy as a friend because he sent me his name information.
You could spend $40 today. You should just do it right now. Just buy both.
But I spent $40 yesterday on something that I was hoping was going to be here early and that I could show you on the show today. But I'll have to show it to you on Monday. Like, it's going to be a surprise. It's really cool, but it's relevant to the show and everything we talk about. And I have 2 weeks to catch it for that price.
John, I'm so excited for this game. I'm freaking out.
Okay.
I've not been so excited for a video game in like
3 months.
The only other game that I can think of is Splatoon. Right?
Yeah, that comes out in like
Zelda worried me, right? This
we know.
This is my big game. This is my moment.
Okay, this is what I'll have to do. I'm gonna have to watch some video of it, and then I'll decide.
Okay.
I have a few weeks. It's something. Here's the problem: if I get games like that, my son's gonna want to play. But the PlayStation's in the bedroom, and I don't want to move it. I mean, I could. It's all a big pain.
Isn't it all the same cables that are for the PS3? Can't you just plug it in where you plug in your PS3?
My PS3 is sitting right next to my PS4 in the bedroom.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's really not that hard to move it. Like, and I have an extra HDMI cable, the one I have going into the Switch right now.
Right.
Speaking of, is my thing done? Oh yeah, my Breath of the Wild DLC is done downloading.
I bought that, and if I had known it was going to come out on the same day, I wouldn't have bought it because I just don't care at all. Like, there's no way I'm going to get to that Zelda DLC this week because I'm going to nonstop play through this game. Like, I beat this game so many times, and this is going to change. It's just going to change my life.
So at that point, there's this part of me,
yeah,
that's almost like, screw it, just buy it digital so I have it right this minute.
I beat this game. I beat Crash like once a year, John. Like, seriously.
That's weird.
No, it's not. It's my favorite game.
That's all right. I'm gonna get Ratchet and Clank. I'll pick it up today.
That's worth $8. Don't hesitate. If you wait, you're gonna end up paying more and you're gonna regret it. So don't hesitate with that.
Hi Sean. Hi Jeremy. Hi Tim.
Hi guys. I'm gonna be on the Greenie podcast this week, John.
Oh Jesus. Are you sure you know that many swear words?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've hosted that show without him before.
Yeah, I heard.
That's a good one. It's one of the best episodes of that show, period. There's no other better episodes.
So speaking of Crash and Ratchet and all that stuff, right?
I got one more bone to pick after this.
So the PlayStation sale though came on, right? It's been on for a few days. It's got, I don't know, till 11th or something like that. And now the Xbox sale is live. And I want to say someone posted a bunch of stuff, but I haven't looked if what they posted was just, hey, this is what's on sale this week, or if it's their big sale. And I haven't actually gone on my Xbox to check. But it just seems like the PlayStation sale does it so much better. Like, they have maybe not as many of the newer games, or maybe they just have so many games on there that you can find a lot of quality games for like $3 or $4.
It's just Sony has a ton of games that they can push. Look, I like my Xbox a lot, but the amount of games that I think, like, God, I really need that for Xbox, like, they don't exist. That's the flaw, John. If I could buy everything for my Xbox, I would. If I could buy everything for my Switch, I would.
I think I'm at the point now. Well, one, yes, if everything was on the Switch, that's where I get it, because I found myself laying in bed last night wanting to play on the PS4, but the wife was still awake and watching Sons of Anarchy.
And you couldn't because she was watching TV and you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I could have looked at her and be like, hey, babe, I really want to play the PlayStation. And she would have popped it up on our computer, right? Which wouldn't have been that big a deal, but I was tired. I've been working a lot. So, but today I'm playing. I'm just like, look, if you want to watch it, sitting here with me, watch on your computer. The kids can go play their games or whatever in the other room. I'm playing. But see, this is where the problem comes in, is how to finish that sentence. What am I playing? Like, I've got something I can play on there that I can play and talk about in the show next week, and something I really want to play. But that being said, I've also already started Uncharted 4. So now I kind of want to keep playing Uncharted 4.
The fact that you're playing Uncharted 4 makes me want to play Uncharted 4. But
well, we need to find a time when we both have plenty of time to play it.
I'm going to play Crash. I'm going to play Crash all week. Forget it.
Okay. So maybe I'll play the other one. Maybe I'll play, because I have the DLC for The Last of Us. Maybe I'll just play that, because that's technically last gen.
Technically.
It came out on the PlayStation, and later it came out on PS4.
I'm just giving you garbage, John. Can I complain about something else?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So it's June. This is the greatest month ever because Crash came out. But it also means that it's been like 6 months since Christmas. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know how your life works, John, but sometimes like Christmas means you get things. Sometimes those are like subscription services. Get ready, everybody, for Dave's rant about how much he hates YouTube right now. So
did it just renew itself?
I gotta Google. No, it didn't actually renew itself, which makes me mad because now I feel like I have to renew it. YouTube has YouTube Red. With my Google Home, I got YouTube Red, I got YouTube Music. I was able to just play whatever music I wanted on my Google Home. All great. Free 6 months. Came with the Google Home. John.
It ran out.
It ran out. And YouTube Red is a feature that you will appreciate more than you realize, because it lets you do background play on the app.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And so every time Game Explain puts out a discussion, hi Game Explain if you're listening, which you're not, but if you were, seriously, put those out as a podcast so I can just listen to them in the podcast app. Every YouTuber who does discussions, get them up on a website where I can listen to them, where I don't have to pay $10 a month for YouTube Red, so that I can play discussions in the background without my screen sitting on and killing.
No, you can do this. You can still do that. Yes, you can.
You have to go into the browser.
Okay, but how much? Okay, first of all,
no,
not
okay,
hard.
But John.
Yes.
The point is, if I can go into the browser and do this, okay, I can delete the YouTube app, go into the browser, and use the browser version. If I can do that,
yeah,
then there is no reason that it shouldn't just do it in the app.
Because they want to make money.
Yeah,
there's also not that big of a deal, because you can just go and do it.
But it's also right? It's a super annoying inconvenience, John.
Yeah, but it's not that big of a deal.
It's a big deal to me. I'm angry about it, John. I don't want to pay $10 a month for this feature, but this is the only feature that I'm really using. It's one of those things where it's not worth the price. I don't mind ads. I don't mind ads on YouTube.
Yeah, whatever. They're fine.
Google Home still plays music. It just plays ads, I think. Yeah. It's just annoying, John. It makes me mad. It's not a service worth paying for. And I'm usually a big YouTube Red person, but that's not worth it. I haven't watched a single YouTube Red show, like an exclusive Red show, since I got the service. Are there any
decent shows on that?
No, because even like the Game Theory one where they like recreate video games in real life is like kind of cool, but then it's like a really crappy reality TV show. You're like, yep.
Oh.
I kind of think this shouldn't exist.
Okay, Dave.
John, that's my angry rant. I'm upset. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for YouTube Red.
You want to know what bone I have to pick?
Yeah, John.
My bone to pick is with Dave.
Oh yeah, here we go. So to be fair, all right.
Let me read what this says. So Dave and I, obviously, a couple days ago, we were talking about BoJack Horseman because I watched the first 2 seasons. Yeah. I actually started the 3rd season, watched an episode or 2 yesterday while I was at work, but I decided I wanted to watch something else, and I binge watched it's a short season, but an entire season of a show that I cannot wait to talk about on Wednesday. It's going to be amazing.
All right.
But I got this. Hey, John, While picking my movie, I looked at the end of BoJack. Don't watch it. You won't like it. Now, here's my problem. When we started Sheldon Forgotten, you and I talked a lot about video games and stuff, right?
Yep.
And that led us both to somewhat understand what the other person likes. And I say somewhat because we still don't really know.
We're still working on this. This is a work in progress.
But when it comes to music and movies and TV shows, we really don't know what the other person likes. But you just like jumped to this like giant wild conclusion.
No.
Whatever happens at the end of this, I'm just going to hate it.
No,
but you told me I was going to hate BoJack Horseman before I ever told you what I thought of BoJack Horseman.
No.
You made the assumption. Hold on. You made the assumption that because you like it, I'm going to hate it.
No. This is not why I'm assuming this, John.
Does it end in a bunch of poorly done versions of Beatles songs?
No, it does not, John.
Is there a giant teddy bear that looks evil that tries to burn good toys?
No.
Then I think I'm okay.
No, John, you're not.
I'm going to have to watch it, though.
No, you're not. Look, you're going to come back to me and be like, this is the saddest, worst show ever. It's not funny. No. It's no longer good.
Look. I don't need everything to be puppies and rainbows and funny jokes.
Okay.
Right?
But it's not. It's about the exact opposite.
Yeah, no. But that's okay if it's done right. I don't want that in a Pixar film. I don't want that in my kids' cartoons. The evilness. And a show for me, I don't mind.
All right, but I'm warning you. I'm warning you. This is not. This is. I forgot this. Okay.
And you got to keep in mind, right, that just because I said BoJack Horseman isn't really that much of a comedy, right? And I understand that the humor's there. I'm just pointing out it's not a laugh out loud. It's not a show that makes you laugh. It's a show that makes you go, "Oh, I get the joke."
Yeah.
Right. And that's what it is, right? It's like the girl on Scrubs, like Mandy Moore on Scrubs, where her whole thing is, "That's so funny." That's so funny, but she never laughs. Right? Similar situation.
I'm just warning you, John. It's
I felt abused. I felt beaten in that.
I feel like I had to warn you because I forgot what the end was.
Because you shouldn't have warned me, and then I could have just dropped a bunch of F-bombs in our chat between us. And
you would have gotten so mad at me though.
No, I wouldn't. Why?
Because you just trust me. Just if you want to finish it, but right now. If you choose to finish it, you are choosing to finish it on your own accords. Because
I'll finish it when I go back to work, I guess.
I am not.
I won't be watching it between now and then.
I am not taking responsibility for your emotional breakdown at the end.
I mean, might I start crying?
You might.
Does the one girl die?
I'm not going to tell you anything.
Who plays Allison? Who does Allison Brie play on that show?
I have no idea, John, who Allison Brie is.
That's going to make it real tough when I talk about my show on Wednesday. Oh, man. I love Allison Brie.
All right. Crash Bandicoot. Insane Trilogy. Play it, John.
Okay. I will consider this. Right.
This is a happy game.
No. That's great.
And you should play it with you should play it with your son.
You say it's a happy game, but here's going to be the problem is if I don't like it because it doesn't resonate with me, right? Because I don't have the nostalgia and I just, for whatever reason, I'm just not a fan of it. Even if the character's smiling, the player won't be.
John, do you like platformers? You not like platformers?
I like platformers, but not all of them, right? I mean, I've played some platformers that they're just not for me, right? Now it's like Mario. Like I don't know if I would enjoy every Mario game had I not grown up on Mario.
All right.
Right. So this is going to be directly being compared to other games. And if it doesn't hold up, or if there's not something about it that makes it that much more fun, like for you, it makes sense.
No, I know.
Play this game over and over again. Right. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. If nothing else, I will pick it up in time. Like it will drop down and be on a PSN sale in a year or two for $8, just like Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
So I will pick up Ratchet and Clank later, or maybe while we're talking.
Got any other rants, John?
Man, I don't think so.
No more rants.
I'm trying to get just the fact that I haven't been able to play video games. I actually played some Oceanhorn yesterday. I'm about 3 or 4 hours into Oceanhorn now. I'll give you you're looking at me like you're like expecting something. Do you want to know what I think of it?
Yeah, I just because I don't know what to think of this game.
So it's beautiful.
Okay.
The music's actually really good. The story's okay. It's not nothing great, but it's okay. The puzzles so far are a little bit like, right? I mean, it's kind of like where Zelda does puzzles and dungeons well. This game does them, you know.
All right.
I'm still having fun with it. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it. So, well, I'll keep playing. I need to get back into Cave Story.
Looks like boring to me. You bought Cave Story, didn't you?
Yeah, but I haven't gotten back into it because my goal had been, and I think I'm gonna have to cancel this goal because the timing isn't working out. My goal had been to, blast through Oceanhorn and put up a video review. But because, it's not the school year where everyone's out of the house all day when I'm off, it's harder to do.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Once school starts back up.
Welcome to my life right now.
Huh? Yeah, but no one's at your house.
Oh, yes,
when
they
you're
are.
Home,
yes, they are. Now there are people in my house. Yes, there are now people in my house.
In your part of your house.
Yes. Well, no. Well, not in my.
Exactly. So, but the difference is, right? Like when you are not at work, you are free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. So, but right now, I got the kids around, so I'm hanging out with them, and the wife's around, so I'm hanging out with her, and I can't just be like, hey, I'm leaving for a couple hours to go upstairs to work on a video.
Well, the fan.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't work nights and weekends the way I do, then I'd also have an easier time being able to do that stuff. Be like, hey, I'm around all the time. Now I'm going to take my time, but I don't. So I have to wait till I have that specific time to do that thing. So
I'm going to stream Crash, guys, tonight. Get ready.
When? On YouTube channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel. Keep an eye on my Twitter.
I have. Okay, so I think I might have brought this up again, or at some point. But I want to get together with some of you guys, with you, Sean. I think Jeremy said he picked up Fat Princess as well. Anyone else? And I want to stream some of these games like that. Now, I don't have the camera on my PlayStation, but I should be able to stream. You can stream straight from the PlayStation to Twitch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You
okay. I want to.
And you can plug a USB mic. You could just plug those microphones in and use it to your PS4, and then you'd have
or I could just use a microphone on my, like a freaking regular headset.
Yeah. Or you could sound good.
I mean, come on. I'm not sure which route I should go with, but I think me sounding good is going to be like the least of my concerns.
All right. Just telling you. Just an option. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm it down, John.
Calm it down, Dave.
Music, John? You got music for me?
I have music.
It better be a Crash cover.
It's not?
Well, then
I don't know if I could have found a Crash cover, to be honest.
You've let me down.
I try to every day.
I'm so proud of you.
This song, I'm trying to make sure I got the right song here. Okay. This song is from Explosion Sound. Now, we played them in the very first episode. They're the ones that also do the opening for Generational Gamers. They make video game inspired music, not video game music. This song is called The Supreme from their album Killer Shapes. You can find the link if you go to forgetbeingcool.com. This is episode 12. Click on the big picture. It'll be there.
We're halfway to when we cancel Living Room Clutter, or not Living Room Clutter. Halfway to canceling Sheldon Forgotten.
Wow, that's dark. All right, so here we go with the song The Supreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was The Supreme from Explosion Sounds. The album's Killer Shapes. You can find it on Bandcamp. That's where I bought it. I bought it on iTunes. It's funny. So whenever you have an iPhone, right? I always have the podcast app open, right?
Always.
And I'm always going in and out of podcast apps, or in and out of like listening to a podcast. So I'll listen, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 20 minutes. Something will happen. I'll have to pause it, whatever. Sometimes I'd put it down for hours and pick my phone back up and whatever, right? So I always just put on my headset, hit the button to start it playing. Well, sometimes it won't recognize the fact that the last thing I was playing was a podcast, and it'll just start playing like one of the 4 albums that's actually on my phone. And so for, I don't know, months, the last thing I'd played on my phone was this album. So every time I hit the button on my thing, it would just start popping up with one of these songs, and I'd start rocking out and forget the fact that I was trying to listen to a podcast at that moment.
We're trying to rate a podcast, we're trying to listen to one.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to rate podcasts for hours. Bowel movement. So while we were doing that, while the music was playing, I pulled out my phone, got on the PlayStation app that in, and I picked up Ratchet and Clank, right, for $8, and I went ahead and sent the friend request to Jeremy that I meant to do last night. Never got around to it because I didn't actually get my PlayStation. So now I might actually have 4 friends, one of which is not Dave Moore because he doesn't like me. But there is a Tommy Goo who I don't know who you are.
John, you can add me on PSN. It'll take
I've already sent you the request.
No, it's just going to take me like 7 months to realize you even sent me the request.
No, you're going to be going on it today.
I'll add you in December.
No, you're going to be going on it today, though.
When I look at my PSN friends list again.
Yeah, but you're going on it today.
Yeah, but unless Crash has got a giant patch, which I seriously doubt.
Have you played a game on the PlayStation system in the last 10 years?
Probably a 70 gig patch for a 6 gig game.
Yeah, well, so Ratchet and Clank was 26 gig.
God dang it.
No, not the patch. I mean, the whole game.
That's still too much.
Yeah, maybe I'll play a little bit by myself.
That game is significantly smaller than Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It's only, what, 13?
Yeah, Zelda's 13 gigs. Ratchet and Clank has no business at all being 26 gigs.
Yeah, especially because you can't even climb the mountains.
Right. You can't climb the mountains. It's not giant open world. It's like a bunch of shrines. God dang it.
I don't know. Maybe what I'll do today.
Somebody at Sony/Microsoft, like, learn compression, please, God.
But then how are they going to sell the bigger hard drives?
It's the only thing Nintendo has over them.
Only thing? Portability.
Portability and fun. Okay, but like from a technological standpoint, the only thing Nintendo's got over them is compression.
Yeah. Hey, have we heard, speaking of technological and gaming companies, have we heard any update on what this Atari thing is supposed to be?
No, we just know that Atari bought a bunch of PC parts to make Atari stuff.
I am really curious to watch this train wreck, and I'm kind of going to want to buy it if it's not too overly expensive, just so I have like one of the 1,500
train wreck
that get put out. Yeah.
It's just gonna be a mini Atari something. That's all it's gonna be.
That would almost also be kind of tempting instead of buying an actual Atari.
That'd be way more tempting than buying a real Atari.
But see, having those giant cartridges is kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's not, John.
And they're pretty cheap. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's cool. It's cool in like a way of like to say, hey, look, I got an Atari, but it's not cool in the sense that like this isn't actually fun in any way at all.
Now, what if it's a mini Atari, but it's like the Sega one where it can play cartridges?
I mean, it could be that.
Do you have any desire with this mini? Because Sega's putting out the next. I say Sega, some company that's been given the license from Sega is putting out another mini Sega. What's going to have some games on it, and it's probably going to play cartridges. If the controller connection is better, would you want to pick that up?
Maybe if it was good. So if somebody actually put out a decent mini Sega Genesis, right, with a bunch of games built into it, then I'd be on board. But the ones that those companies make are trash, John.
No, I want to say the last one was supposed to be good. The problem with the last one was the controller connectivity. You had to basically be aiming the wireless controller at the system at all times because it was
Same thing with the Atari classics that same company makes.
Yeah, but my understanding is the controller was really the only issue.
Yeah, but that's
and the list of games had all 2 good Sega games.
That's still a big,
all 2 of
that's
them.
That's a really big issue, though, John.
No, it is, and that's the biggest reason why I never picked it up. But if it weren't for that,
that's
if it was a wired controller,
that's worse than the 3-foot cables for the Mini NES Classic Edition.
No, I agree. But the question is, if they fix the controller, but they have something similar where it's like 50, 80, whatever games, plus you could put the cartridge in, would you want to pick it up?
Yeah.
So I would consider it. For like $50 or so, I'd do it, probably.
Yeah, 50, 60, no more than that, though.
No. Because it's Sega and you're only buying 2 good games. You know what I want to get for Sega, actually? I want to get the Aladdin game, and I want to get the Lion King game, so I can compare them side by side with the Super Nintendo versions.
I mean, or you could just go on YouTube and get the side by side comparison.
Yeah, but I want to do it for myself, okay. Not to like dive into someone else's analysis. Like I want to feel it.
All right.
It's like looking at pictures of puppies on the internet and petting a puppy.
Right. So
you just want to feel it.
Watching Crash Bandicoot videos will determine whether you buy this game or not. How about watch me stream it?
Stream it. Yeah, you're going to be on your YouTube channel tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Sometime tonight. Probably pretty late, but yeah, tonight.
I plan on staying up late, I think. It's Friday.
Okay. All right.
I don't got to work tomorrow. I got to mow tomorrow morning, which it rained a lot here, so it finally started growing grass. Oh, it's going to be hell. My backyard's too big.
All the grass is so gross right now because of the rain. It's all muddy and horrible.
Yeah, your grass is probably very different from our grass.
It's gross.
So let's dive into some video game news. Now, this is the video game news according to Garrett Bland, posted on We the Nerdy.
Right.
All right. So we're going to see what we care about on here. I've clicked open 1 article or 2 articles because I'm curious to look into them a little bit deeper.
All right.
So number 1 here, Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon coming west in October. I don't know what that is.
Neither do I.
Yep. I don't know if you know what system it is. According the source is Nintendo Everything.
Okay, so assuming it's a Switch game.
Maybe.
Or a 3DS game. Probably.
I mean, I've heard of Knights of Azure, I think.
I think I've heard
so
that
here's a Polygon edit or a Polygon article, and this just gives the headline. It says Nintendo can give fans an amazing gift by slowly killing the 3DS.
Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, now slow your roll, John.
Okay, so this is just the headline of an article. That's all he has posted. And followed by, this is literally the title of the article, no joking. Nintendo can give fans an amazing gift by slowly killing the 3DS. Like, I just think that's a funny title.
God, I'm so glad Pokemon is coming to a Switch.
Yeah.
You don't know what it means. It's the saving grace of the fact that the 3DS is dead.
So I have to pause for a second here and read something from the chat.
I know. That's why I said you had to slow your roll, because I saw that.
It's from our friend Adam Leonard, not to brag. Says, I'm at work, so I can't stay long, but I just wanted to say Julia Roberts. Bye-bye, guys. I love you. Oh, we love you too, Adam.
I'm going to say nothing because he's insulting me.
Yeah, just wait till he has... Well, I don't know. So you didn't know who Alison Brie is.
Right.
Which isn't that big of a deal. Probably she's not as well known, but she is one of the voices in BoJack Horseman. I think she might be the ghostwriter.
Whose name?
The one that marries Peanut Butter?
Yeah, whose name I can't remember for some reason.
Yeah, I can't remember the character's name right now either. But I think that might be whose voice she does. I'm not 100% sure, but she's in Community. Did you ever watch Community?
No, we've talked about this already. I've never watched Community.
I don't know. She's really cute, and she's in Community. She's kind of like the cute, innocent girl on that show.
All right.
Okay, so Crash Bandicoot Insane Trailer or Insane Trilogy review is up here. Maybe I'll read that.
What did we the nerdy give it?
It's not theirs. It just has, so it's got an open critic of 80 and a Metacritic of 82. I can pull up the Neo
score, IGN score of 8.5.
I mean, that's not bad though. I'd play an 8.5. They gave something I was listening to was given like an 8.9 that just blew me away that that's what it would be.
Sometimes I don't believe them.
I cannot remember what it was. It was something I never played, but it was one of those things you see it coming out and you're like, this isn't going to be that great, but maybe it just turns out to be that great. If this website will load while man, it's loading slow.
Your internet.
Web browser.
Your internet's
okay.
Going a little bit nuts.
Yeah, that's because I'm trying to open too many things on my web browser while we're talking.
Well, no, during the song.
So, what's that? Oh, that's because I was dancing around. So, okay, so the Crash. Let's see. GameSpot gave it a 6. GameLog gave it a 7. God is Geek gave it an 8. There's too many people. Game Informer gave it an 8. Let's get some like people we actually care about. IGN 8.5. IGN.it. I don't know what that is. Gave it an 8. Eurogamer gave it a 9. IGN Spain gave it a 9.
It's got the same flaws that the original Crash game has, and that's why people.
That it's not Mario.
Giving it a knockdown. No, it's so much better than Mario. Everybody could.
No, okay.
I'm trying to think.
It's so much better than Mario.
Okay, here, wait. Let me give you the fair comparison of the Mario game that it would be. Right.
Okay.
It's like 3D World. It's better than 3D World.
Yeah, but that's like, I keep wanting to use my favorite analogy, but I will seriously.
Mario is a completely different kind of game than Crash.
They're platformers.
No,
they compete directly.
But they are different kinds of games.
Do you?
That's like saying Mario Kart and Forza are the same game. Because they're
it's not. One's a kart racer. One's a, one's a kart racer, and one's like a realistic rate? What's the word for that?
Arcade simulation, a racing simulator.
Yeah.
All right, it's like saying like FIFA and Madden are the same game.
What? No, that's different types of football.
No, they're both sports games. They're the same. That makes them the same.
No, what? No. What the hell's wrong with you? Never join a debate club.
I never did. Never planned on it.
I did. It's one of the only classes I failed in high school because I did not do anything. I had to take it though for some reason.
You had to take it. You failed it, and you somehow still passed.
Yes.
Okay. Seems
I can't. I don't remember. I don't remember how that worked.
Seems legit. Seems like
turns out it wasn't what I was hoping it would be, and so I just said, "Screw you! I don't like this form of debate," and I just didn't do anything. Okay. So what's the big difference between, let's say, Crash Bandicoot and a similar style Mario game? I guess I don't know which one to compare it to.
Because the only one you can compare it to is like 3D World.
Why? What about Galaxy?
Galaxy's not as linear as.
Galaxy's freaking linear as hell.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a Galaxy kind of game, except Galaxy's its own kind of 3D platformer upside down with Wii remotes. It's not good.
Okay.
Does not play the same as a.
So is it like 3D World though?
It's like 3D World.
So it's bad.
No, it's
not bad. Sorry, some people really like 3D World. 3D World's fine.
No.
It's one of my least favorite Mario games because I think they try to thread the line between two things,
it's like
it's
like 3D World. If 3D World were better.
But you're trying to get from the start to the end.
Yeah.
Of a level in pseudo 3D.
Right.
So why would I want to play this over one of those?
Because it's Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, but see that statement right there is nostalgia.
I'm gonna start a show called PlayStation Nostalgia. I'm just gonna talk about how much I like Crash and Spyro because that would be all you could have nostalgia for on PlayStation.
That's not true. There's a lot of good games that came out on PlayStation to have nostalgia about, but some of us were actually alive.
Tomb Raider,
PlayStation,
Army Men, Sergeant Heroes.
Well, the problem is like the games you have nostalgia about from the PlayStation.
Oh no!
Like Tomb Raider, going back to Tomb Raider now, you cannot do it. The controls are so bad. It's so janky. At the time, it was great.
I think that was when my dad quit playing video games.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's keep going here. The Lego Ninjago movie video game was announced. Could be okay. Now, did you play? Okay, you played Lego movie games, right? Or Lego video games?
I like Lego video games. We talked about this.
Okay. Before. Did you play the Lego movie video game?
Yeah, I thought it was bad. I thought it was one of. I thought it was one of the weaker Lego game entries.
Yeah, I could see that argument. What was weird to me about it was that you could actually like die in that one.
Yeah.
Like where most of them you fall off and you lose some bricks or whatever. In that one, you like die, and you are done.
It still doesn't matter.
No, you had to restart the level. Like in all the other ones, you could just keep falling off a cliff and it doesn't matter. You keep going from where you're at. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're not going to get true word used for that game, right? True believer, true Jedi, true whatever, right? But in that one, you could die and have to restart that level.
It's a weird game. It's not as fun. It's
now so the reason I bring this up though is I'm wondering, will this game be like that, or will this game be like all the rest of the ones? Because if they make it kind of like the Lego Force Awakens, which I've got to get through that game. I've got to sit down and play that more.
Did they make a Lego Batman movie video game?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think they did. Although that movie was the best Batman movie in the last 10 years.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because Batman versus Superman is garbage.
Right.
And even the ones with what's his name? Christian Bale. Christian Bale's a terrible actor.
Calm down, everybody.
Christian Bale's so bad.
Relax, everybody.
Christian Bale.
Stuff. Don't worry.
No one will ever convince me. Hold on. No one will ever convince me that Christian Bale is a good actor. He's got certain roles he can play well because of the fact that he's such a bad actor. The roles are like built around him in a way, like American Psycho and The Machinist, right? But as an actor, you get him to, if you could make him play like a badass mute, he would be amazing. But you let him open his mouth and he just goes downhill.
When does Lego Ninjago the movie come out?
The movie?
Yeah, because that's
gonna sometime real soon.
It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I know we're gonna take my son, but it might just be me or my wife taking him. Like my wife might take him, and then I'll like
end up taking him to that before I go to that. I want to know what you thought. Although,
okay,
I don't know if I respect your opinion of kids movies, considering you like the Cars franchise. But
so I'm gonna let that one slide this time because I want to talk about this. But
this looks really funny. It looks really funny.
No, it does. But odds are my wife will take him because my daughter's been begging for like a daddy-daughter date type thing, and that'd be a good time for me to take just her out.
Okay.
So, okay, let's go to the next article here.
Okay.
EVE Online developer gets sent a bag of dicks. So I pulled up this article because I'm trying to figure out what it's talking about. So EVE Online has been going through a bit of a rocky phase recently. Some balance changes, blah, 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 blah. Yesterday, a game designer who
you're
Brendan Hooper. I've never played it.
Okay. I know people who do, but
posted on the EVE subreddit with a little bit of advice to the community. Here in Iceland, we pay tax on anything that gets imported. He writes, when it comes into the country, customs will check for an invoice that you have to pay them to get your stuff. If you can't find an invoice, you get a letter in the mail asking for one. There's some exceptions, blah, blah, blah. What? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where it actually says. Okay, so this is exactly what happened. The week that Hooper received a letter from Icelandic customs asking for an invoice. Not sure what the package could be. He had them open it up. They sent him this description. The shipment contains two candy gummy bags in the shape of penises, glitter, penis-shaped confetti, and a coupon that says, eat a bag of dicks. Oh my god!
The funniest, but neatest, yet also kind of most brilliant way to do that.
Apparently, it was $38, like $38 US worth of dicks. And here's a picture of him holding a penis-shaped, pretty decent size, like cut out of a box. It's on it says, "Don't let your dreams be dongs."
We try to stay PG-13, guys. I apologize now.
I didn't. Well, it's not like I was going after this article. It popped up on
news
on this, and I had to know more.
It's news. It's appropriate.
Yeah. Ace Combat VR gameplay. Oh my god.
What is this?
If there is an Ace Combat VR game, that might be worth $500 for the PSVR and this game.
I'm gonna play Crash in VR.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna play Crash in VR.
Huh? Dude, there is a part of me. Now it's in my bedroom, which is fine, but like to play it, all the wires would have to like stretch to wherever I wanted to sit, which isn't so great.
The whole thing's a mess, John. Don't buy VR. You're wasting your money and time.
No, I'm sure.
Even if there's,
but I really want to play an Ace Combat game in VR.
Even if there's one game that you really, really want to play, it's not worth it.
The Job Simulator.
John,
Job Simulator
John,
looks ridiculous.
John.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'd actually use it for?
Look,
or what I'd want to actually use it for?
Laying in bed and watching movies.
That and laying in bed and playing video games, because you can use it as like a giant screen to play other games on.
Yep.
That would be cool. I don't know. And actually, what I really, really want it for, like more than anything in the world, is to play Resident Evil 7.
God, it's so close to being worth it, but it's not, John. And we both.
I know. I'm not going to drop. I'm not going to drop $400 on it.
I would
like
if
it dropped.
If it was $200.
No, I would probably go as high as 300 at the right time. Like not right now. I don't want to spend 300.
300 with a pack in.
300 with the controllers, the camera, the VR, everything, and like a game.
Yeah.
I would do that.
I'd do that too.
But one of the biggest things that would give me a problem is I'd have to figure out where to set it all up. And I'd probably have to go up in the game room, or I'd have to set it up in like a whole other room because the kids aren't old enough to play it. Ben would maybe come over and see me once in a while now.
I have the option to put it wherever I want, but
yeah,
it would.
No, we'll see. One day
it'll drop. One day it'll drop in price, and it'll come with Resident Evil.
God, I want to play Resident Evil so bad. I just haven't gotten around to pick it up.
That would be worth it.
Okay. Nintendo Classic Mini Super Nintendo, 160,000 available day one in France, supposedly.
That's not enough.
But I mean, it's probably more than France had before. I don't know. We're passing over that one.
Skip it.
112 new things in XCOM 2. Okay. Nickelodeon enters esports as part of the $15 million funding round for Super League Gaming. Oh.
Okay, so if Nickelodeon's gonna like run like a Nickelodeon Run Splatoon tournament, I'm excited. Like that would be really cool. That almost feels too perfect, but it's not what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a bunch of THQ developed games that are really bad, like every Nickelodeon game ever made.
Okay, here's the next one. And I've actually pulled up the actual article from GameSpot on this one. PayPal issue reportedly causing PSN bans for some users. Now, this only reason this really concerns me is because I use my PayPal account for anything I buy on here, just because it was easier to set up at the time than actually having to type in a credit card number.
Yep.
And it still goes through my credit cards, same thing. But it says a number of PlayStation Network users are finding themselves banned today through no apparent fault of their own. This reportedly due to an issue with PayPal. PayPal initiated a chargeback on thousands of PSN accounts, only from the UK, it looks like, for an unknown reason. This caused the user to be treated by PSN as if they owe Sony money. Oh, weird. That would suck. So what happens if you
what does that mean? What does that do to you?
I mean, does it make it where you can't play online or you can't get the deals? I mean, you can still play your PlayStation, I assume.
Yeah. I don't think they could say you can't play your games. If they can, that's concerning on a whole nother level of other worries that I think about.
Well, they might make it where you can't play your like free games you've downloaded over time.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to play.
Well,
I mean, Until Dawn comes out on Tuesday.
Physical.
I'm really looking forward to playing that.
Physical.
Yeah, let's get physical. Let's see. Nintendo Switch leaks reveals potential guest logins, save data transfers. I've read that. It looks interesting.
Great.
No, but that's I mean, okay. So for me and maybe for you, right? That doesn't matter, right? Because the only person I'm playing Nintendo games with is going to be, like Ben, and he'll just bring his Switch with him.
Right.
Right. Almost every time he comes over, he probably brings it with him.
Same with Jeff.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal for us, but for other people, if I went to visit you and didn't have my Switch, but I could log into your Switch with my thing.
Yeah, but it'll still matter, John. It'll only matter if we get achievements or trophies or some reason. Well, otherwise, you can just use whatever other accounts on here. Like, what does it matter?
Well, yeah, but it's also if it's got the save. What did it say?
Save something. Your saves aren't in the cloud. There's nothing here that makes this
save data transfers. But if you could put your save stuff onto a micro SD card, I mean, micro SD cards are pretty easy to swap in and out on those things.
Okay.
So, okay.
But you still can't.
Here, I found this one.
Do that yet either.
No. This is like a rumor of what's to come.
Okay.
Someone leaked it somewhere. I forgot what the deal was. Okay, Sony pulls world's fastest platinum trophy from PSN.
Is it the Gone Home one?
Hold on a second. So, PlayStation Trophy Hunter in North America got a pleasant surprise on Tuesday when a game that claimed to have the fastest platinum trophy ever made its way out of PSN. Not on Sony's watch, the company was quick to remove it and asked the developer to change the name of the game and remove any mention of trophies from the description. But the kerfuffle, that's how you pronounce that word, was once again brought into Sony's questions lacks certificate. Okay. It's called indie title star 10,000 top rated advertised as, I don't know what this game is.
So in other words, Sony, you're losing quality control and letting people put out crap on the store. Good job. Proud of you. Good company. Good job. At least you can make the Crash Insane trilogy, but you apparently can't do anything else.
Well, but I mean, a number of them are letting that happen. I mean, doesn't Xbox have a bunch of garbage on there or no?
It seems like they've been better at it, but the only one that's really controlling this is Nintendo.
Well, but on the Wii U, there was some garbage that came out.
Yeah, well,
like I think they somewhat controlled it, but
yeah, Nintendo's controlling it now, right?
Well, but let's talk about that for a second.
Neo Geo.
So I've been waiting for that update for NBA Playgrounds, and apparently Nintendo is the reason that they're having a hard time getting that update put out. Like apparently they put out that Nintendo's only allowing certain amount of updates or something like that. Like something they're doing is making it difficult for them to put this update out.
Hey guys. Hey game companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, PlayStation, Sony. Get it together, please, God. Start caring about the gamers. I saw a PlayStation commercial that said for the players. I'm like, that's not true. That made me feel a little bit cold inside and heartless. Thanks YouTube Red for being not a thing anymore. I had to see ads.
Number 16, see, we quit our jobs, remortgaged our houses. How relentless passion made Cuphead a reality. There are some people that are so excited for Cuphead, and I
don't get it.
I don't know, man.
Doesn't look exciting. Looks boring.
It looks cool.
The style is cool. The art style is very cool, but everything else I don't care about at all. The gameplay, the fact that apparently this game took so long to make, although it looks like it's going to be like Mighty Number 9 in my opinion. Like it took way too long to make, and it's probably not going to be that great.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are excited. Cuphead's going to be boring, guys. Get ready. I'm going to call it right now. I was wrong about Zelda, but Cuphead's going to be worse.
So here we go. Miyamoto. PC didn't have as much attention as Nintendo E3 2017. Company aware of PC market size. So I guess it was people were questioning whether or not Nintendo's going to be putting stuff out on PC. Now they're putting stuff out in mobile.
No, the question is no. No, they're not.
You know, I mean, I don't think they've completely ruled it out, but probably not.
Well, no company should ever rule something out completely, right? Nothing like that. They should never say, no, we'll never do it, because when they do decide to do it, people will remember and they'll have to eat their words. But
did you play Splinter Cell?
No.
Okay, well, Ubisoft plans to develop a new Splinter Cell game.
Cool.
There was an article up here I missed. Let me find it again real quick.
After Beyond Good
Somehow
and Evil 2. After Beyond Good and Evil 2? That's the game is called, right? With the monkeys swearing a lot?
Yeah. The monkey. Oh yeah, there are monkeys swearing a lot and pigs.
And pigs, weird pigs. That game is gonna be
Yeah.
weird, John. I don't understand the hype.
Well, did you play the first one?
Where's the first one? Where do I play it?
I must have gotten with Games of Gold at some point.
What is it on?
Originally I think it came out like GameCube and PlayStation 2 maybe.
All right.
But it's on. Xbox has it with the 360 games. Okay, so Zelda, Overwatch, and the failure to represent Middle Eastern and South Asian identities in games. So I didn't go through and read this whole thing, but it's interesting because apparently the concern is that there's a line between Middle Eastern and South Asian countries, and video games are not doing them justice, like separating the two.
I don't know if I have any words on this, John. It seems like it seems like a mistake.
It just seems, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's hard, being a middle-class straight white male, right? It's hard to say certain things because either one, I've never experienced it, or two, if I say it, I'm just like, oh, well, you had it easy. You're a middle-class male white guy, whatever, right? So
I'm just gonna keep my I'm just gonna not. I'm not gonna spark the fire, John.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, it's I don't. It's hard to comment on this either way, and I also don't know. Like, I don't have any information.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem is we don't actually know for sure. I'm like, if somebody wrote an article about it, there is at least one person who wrote this article who feels that this is a thing, and that is a problem.
Yeah.
But whether they're right or not is a whole nother question. But at the same time, as you're going to represent different countries and cultures and things in video games as a developer and as a responsibility to make games, it is your job to take and portray those things in the light and the accuracy that you were trying to portray, right?
Yeah.
If you make Beyond Good and Evil 2, okay, and you want to
don't insult the pigs and monkeys.
If you want to make a big, argument between pigs and monkeys, you go for it, all right? But if you're going to represent, if you're going to come in here with Far Cry 5, okay, and you're going to represent cults in America, right? You better damn do your research and do it right. Because you are responsible for representing what that culture is and what that group of people are doing. And if you are not going to portray it accurately, but you are going for accuracy, you are doing a mistake as a developer and a creator, right? So if you are not drawing the culture lines properly in other countries, doesn't matter which country specifically, you trying to portray that, you're doing your job wrong. Now,
here's the only thing that gets me just from reading the headline, not the article.
Okay, I only know the headline because it's all you told me.
They specifically brought up Zelda. And, I mean, what country is anyone from that game supposed to be from? Hyrule? Right?
That's right.
Like, there's it's not like you see the people, I mean, because there is that one group in the sand that has that kind of Middle Eastern-ish, South Asian look.
Yeah.
Right? But who knows who those people are supposed to be? I mean, whatever, right? Like, and I can't say about Overwatch. There might be characters in Overwatch that are very specific.
No, but even Overwatch is fantasy-based.
Sure. But I don't know the characters well enough to know if any of those are supposed to have some kind of backstory that's placed in one location.
Even then, John, it's a matter of okay, so these are representative, like these are fictional worlds, right? In which these people somehow represent or kind of appear to be like a comparison to another culture, right? But because they're not the actual culture and they're not trying to be portrayed as that specifically, I don't think this matters.
Do you think that article at all brings up Street Fighter?
No.
Because Street Fighter definitely brings people from specific countries into it.
Right, but then Street Fighter has a responsibility to portray those cultures accurately.
Oh, I agree. I'm curious.
Overwatch. Zelda is a fantasy world in Hyrule. That is not a real country. It's not a real place. You're not trying to represent anything.
I guess I'll cancel my plane tickets then.
To Hyrule?
Yes. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really, really
cool. I mean, the safe version, like the after Ganon is gone version.
I still feel, I mean, it would be beautiful and lush and like a really nice place to camp, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just go there on vacation. I'm not going to move there.
It's like camping, though. Like, really, like Hyrule is camping.
No, I'd want to stay in one of the little hotels in the town. And then ride my horse in weird directions to get places.
Ride your horse. It's really hard to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You realize if you had tamed your horse and given it more love, it becomes easier to control, right?
I realize that, but at the same time, it never felt necessary enough.
Yeah, no, I didn't ride horses much. I think I killed only one horse because I rode it off a cliff on accident.
I think I killed Epona.
I think that's going to be our title of our episode.
I think I killed Epona.
Okay, so let's talk the movie.
All right, John. I did a lot of so I watched this movie yesterday. And I did a bunch of research before I went to bed.
I'm excited to hear that because I've watched movies and done research. Like there's a movie I might get you to watch at some point that's really disturbing.
I watched a 45-minute BBC documentary about this after I watched the movie.
Okay, let's talk about the movie, and then I want to hear about your research. Okay, so the movie you watched is the Stanford Prison Experiment, right? Yeah. I had heard about this. I'd heard the story. I knew the basics of it. It had some big names in it.
Yeah.
Or not, not necessarily big names. Know. Yeah, well, it was a bunch of names that I don't really like. I recognized a few of them, and I actually don't have that up right this minute. I might pull it up here in a second and get you some names.
Hi guys, for reference, Stanford Prison Experiment. We watch it on Netflix. Every Friday we watch a movie. We pick a new movie. I've got one for us. It's going to be exciting. If you haven't watched this movie, we are going to spoil it a little bit. Although I don't know how much that matters in this case. But go watch this movie if you haven't on Netflix.
Okay, so let's go through the cast that makes sense. So,
thanks for product placement, John. Product placement.
Who?
You.
Oh, I keep bringing my cameras there. Who is this guy? Why do I recognize Gaius Charles?
I don't know, John. Why do you?
So he was the black research assistant student guy.
Okay.
But I recognize him, but I don't know why. Oh, he's in Grey's Anatomy. That's why I've seen him, because my wife would have that on in the background when I was watching stuff.
All right.
Oh, and he's also Friday Night Lights. Oh, did you ever watch the Friday Night Lights TV show?
No.
Oh, it's so good. The first few seasons, like the first 2 or 3 seasons, are really, really good. But he played a star running back in that. That explains that. Okay. So, the big name in this one that actually got me, and I didn't realize it, is Ezra Miller is in this. He's one of the. He was the inmate that started to really tweak.
Right in the beginning, like really early on.
Relatively early on.
I watched this movie last night. I've already forgot the numbers of the characters.
Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the basics of the movie, right? There's a psychology professor at Stanford who wants to do an experiment on how being in prison changes people effectively. Right. So he gets, I want to say it was like 9 and 6, so 15. I think it was 15 students that agreed to do it for $15 a day.
In the 70s, in 1971.
Yeah, and he agreed to. So they interview them all. They pick the 15 they want to use, and they flip a coin to decide who's going to be a prisoner and who's going to be a guard.
Yep.
Right, but he tells them that they were chosen for reasons that came from their interview.
Right.
Right. And then he sticks them in there. They block off a few like a hallway, and made cells out of a few rooms. Put them in these like dress-looking things, called them numbers. The guards had uniforms,
which were glasses that were like reflective, so that you couldn't see into their eyes.
Yeah, like aviators. I mean, they're aviators.
Right.
And basically let them kind of do what they wanted to do.
Right.
And just watched it. And there were certain rules, like they weren't supposed to be able to actually hit them or any of that stuff. And it just basically shows how things can go really, really wrong.
Really, really wrong, really, really fast.
Okay, so Ezra Miller, who I just brought up, he is one of the inmates. Okay. He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower. He was like he was the main kid who was kind of like the new kid to the group. Remember, there was a girl and the guy, and they were already friends, and then he kind of joined in with them. That was him. He also played the Flash in Suicide Squad and Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Didn't know the Flash was in those things.
I didn't know this Flash was in Suicide Squad.
According to this, maybe his scene was cut.
Yeah, sounds like that never happened. He's in Dawn of Justice, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be in maybe like the future ones.
He'll be in Justice League.
Yeah. So anyway, so they do this, and it kind of just watches how this unfolds. So what did you mean? Like,
I immediately felt concerned the whole time. Like every time the minute this movie started, John, I was like, this is a bad idea. These people, the way they got interviewed in the beginning was a little bit concerning, right? Like asking if they had any emotional problems, anything that freaked them out, right? Flipping a coin to justify whether you're a guard or you're an inmate, right?
But that was
essentially giving the guards reasons to make the inmates mad, basically by giving them those rules and making them.
Well, I don't think they really gave them that many rules, though. I think the inmates came up with their own, or the guards kind of came up with their own thing.
Did they really?
I think so. Like, I mean, I think there were certain things like you will go by your name is now your number, and you will call me Mr. Prison Guard or whatever the heck it was, Mr. Correctional Officer.
Yeah, Mr. Correctional Officer.
Right. But I don't think the rest of it, I think they kind of had free reign on how they wanted to do it.
I almost hate everybody in this movie. It's one of those things where this could have been completely fine, but there's like those few standouts. The one guard in particular.
The one they kept calling John Wayne or whatever?
Yeah, the one they kept calling John Wayne.
So, but here's the thing, right? Is it shows, I mean, it's a good social experiment. I mean, it's terrible, but
no, it's a terribly brilliant social experiment. We'll get to it in a second. But
it shows just like you don't know what you're capable of, or you don't know what could potentially happen, you know? And here's what's crazy is they looked at the fact, like on the second day or something like that, they wrote letters to their families or something like that.
Right.
And one guy signed it with his number.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy crap, like this is going to be amazing.
But it was only 2 days, John. It was 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That amount of breakdown that happens so quickly. And this, I mean, a lot of this stuff is portrayed accurately of the actual story.
Oh, I figured it probably was.
Like that, the amount of time it took for the one guy to like completely just like freak out, like just completely have a freak out and go, like to leave. Like that is almost exactly how it happened. Watching the real footage from the real experiment. Okay.
Oh, that's nuts.
It's 2 days without sunlight, so you don't actually know how much time is passing. The guards were constantly waking them up, right? Like just to disorient them. Like just let's cause a little bit of chaos in the middle of the night, right? And because it's the middle of the night and they don't have any sunlight, they have no idea what's happening. The amount of stress and panic that will go into these characters, especially, like, this is awful. This is something that, like, I don't think that we could ever do this ever. I don't know how they got away with this.
Okay, so there's a couple things I need to point out.
Okay.
Right. One is, so it was a 2-week experiment, supposed to be a 2-week experiment.
It didn't last 2 weeks.
No, the prisoners stayed there the whole time. The guards were in 2 shifts. So I assume they went home when they weren't on their 12-hour shift. I don't know if it actually said that, but they would come in and change into their stuff and whatever. So they could go home, they could smoke. Everyone smoked. It was the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was 2 very different experiences. The second thing is, I've spent 7.5 years on a submarine. Not consistently, it was 4 years and 3.5 years. Okay. I know what it's like to, one, not see the sun for months at a time. And the only way you know what time it is by what meal is being served. And 2, being woken up from a dead sleep in the middle of your sleep time to chaos.
Yeah.
So I only slightly feel bad for these fools.
John, these are a bunch of kid students.
Yeah. Who do you think is on a submarine? A bunch of 18-year-olds.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I totally get it. It's kind of the same thing. But
we weren't a bunch of rich privileged kids, at least not all of us. There were some that were, right? Where these are all Stanford students. So for the most part, these people come from privilege.
these are not people who think they're going. These are not people who would go to the military, John. Right? These are not people who would get put on a submarine. Okay, these are not people who would choose to do this, which you chose to do it. Right?
I did.
This thing only lasted 5 days, John.
6. I think it was 6 days.
Fifth day, fifth night. It would have been the 6th morning. Which
okay. But in that time, you talk about the transformation, right?
Okay.
But in that time, remember it had that scene, and I don't know if it talked about this in whatever the research you were doing, but where their families would come see them?
Yeah.
And as bad as it was, and I mean, it was bad to the point where these kids were trying to escape, trying to leave, but not really being allowed to leave. Like they weren't really as free to leave as they thought.
So the psychologists would, they could leave, right? And in the research that I went into, John, like they would have let them leave, but they purposely ran the experiment to pretend like they couldn't, right?
Oh yeah,
like
well, it would have taken them out of the experience if they could.
Right. So as the psychologist in the room where they're basically trying to leave, because these kids are having a breakdown, like they are losing it, they pretend to be the warden of the prison, not the psychologist who says this is just an experiment, you can leave.
Yeah.
And that level of insanity is concerning. On it freaks me out that these groups of kids could have really done this, right? But it also makes me realize, like, what would you have done in this experiment, John? Like, if you were,
what's the thing? And
like, you'd have no idea. Like,
and they talk about that. They talk about that at the end, and I don't know how much of that was real footage and how much of it was all just the actors.
That was a lot of the actors and the portrayals of the actual footage of the real kids talking about after it. Like, it was kind of like basically almost a recreation.
So there was the one scene where you had one of the prisoners, and then you had the guard they referred to as John Wayne, the guy who kind of came in on I think he was a night shift guy, took control and was just an asshole, right?
Saying that he was running his own kinds of experiments.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is the prisoner guy's like, look, I know you're not a bad person. He's like, but you did some really bad stuff. And then so the guard guy was like, it's like, I was just saying, like, no one stopped me. Like, I was like, no one stopped me. So I was just kind of curious to how far it would go. Right. And they asked the other guy, they asked the prisoner, what would you have done in the situation? The kid's like, I don't know. And that's the thing is, like, none of us know. I would like to think, and don't get me wrong, like, because of some things I have been through, I might have a better idea, right? Just from, I mean, I'm not comparing a submarine to prison, right? Or anything like that, but you can see when you're in a position where you have more power than you should have at a younger age, right? So like in the military, when you're over a group of people, you can basically make their lives hell and they can't stop you necessarily.
Yeah.
If the people above you can get on board or whatever. So I've been in a situation where I've had the opportunity to choose to be nice and lead in one way or be a complete jerk and just do whatever I wanted to almost.
But there's also a difference, John, if you're a guard in a situation where you're saying this is an experiment, right? You're saying in your head maybe a little bit that you said, well, I can kind of push this limit, right?
That's true.
There's a difference between the reality of saying I am in a position of power at a young age in a submarine, right? Where I can make, I could be a horrible person. Yeah. But there's not the piece that says, hey, this is an experiment, right? Let me see how far I can actually push this. That is another interesting piece of this. Is like if they all knew this was an experiment, even though some of them were starting to kind of feel like it wasn't, right? So yeah, even the team of psychologists who are studying this are falling like victim to being part of the experiment themselves.
Well, and they actually brought that up at one point.
Yeah.
Like the one guy was like, no, we have to keep, like, you have to see this through because we are part of this experiment as well. Now, what worries me, and I think in one of the scenes the professor walks through and brings up a point is like, is the experiment he running proper scientific experiment that's going to give proper data? Right?
No,
because you have to have, there's certain things you have to have in any experiment.
You need a variable. You need something you're testing. And is this just a simulation or is it an experiment at all? And it almost feels like there wasn't an experiment going on here. It was really just to see what would happen with the collapse of power and control. Like,
yeah, I mean, like when I've done, because I've done a giant research paper and stuff like that. Now I didn't have to set anything up like this, but I had to do a lot of research on doing research. And there was definitely some major flaws in the way this was done to produce anything that you could write down as semi-definitive. Because there was actually too many variables to some extent.
Yeah. No, they're running too many things. Like even the guy the black prison guy, right, who has experience with this, who they brought in, like is already mad that they put them in dresses. They were in dresses, John.
Yeah. Well, that character was interesting. He had spent 12 years in San Quentin, I believe.
Right.
And they brought him in to kind of be the reality check for how they're doing things.
Yeah. To make sure that they're really following the actual ideas that this is a prison, even though that they're just shoving, the hole is just a closet, John. It's just
it was like a portable coat closet almost. Like it was tiny.
Yeah, but in the in the actual footage showing the actual hallway where they set this up, it is just a closet. It's a closet that once you close it, it's really dark and it's really small, but it's just a closet. That's all it is.
But that's all it takes.
Right. But the idea of that, the fact that these people would break down and start crying and get scared and the guards would just stand there and let it happen. Right. The amount of humanity, they're like, nope, I'm a prison guard. I just had to let this happen kind of idea.
Yeah. But you also, I mean, it makes me wonder, because I know a guy who was a prison guard for a little while. Now, I don't talk to him because he's a psychopath, but.
Oh, that's concerning, John.
Oh, it's way more concerning than you could ever imagine.
Shout out to your prison guard psychotic friend who's listening.
I don't think friend's the word I'd ever use.
Okay.
But I would hear stories when he and I were still talking every once in a while. I would hear stories of stuff in there, and it just makes you wonder, right? Because there's both sides to everything is both sides too, right? I mean, when you see a prisoner that gets beaten up by a guard in prison, right? There's two sides to that story,
right?
Now what side is more on the right? Who knows?
The guard felt threatened.
Yeah,
and the prisoner may have felt scared. There are a lot of sides to that, and it's not just a matter of flipping a coin to determine whether what is what.
Yeah. So I don't know. So overall, you like the movie?
I liked it a lot.
It was really good.
It's really good. I think
well done.
I think they added a little bit more drama than the reality of the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they had to some extent.
Right.
Yeah.
But I liked it. But I think it portrayed, from what I watched of the actual stuff, pretty well on for.
Well, you know what's interesting, right? So obviously this thing doesn't make it 2 weeks, right? The guy has to eventually step in and stop it once he realizes what's happening. And I say once he realizes and can finally convince himself that yes, he has to stop this from going on. But his girlfriend, the role that she plays for the movie side of it, right? I don't know how it was in reality or whatever, but for the movie aspect, she was more the voice of reason. That was very much what you have to do.
I don't think she's a real character, John. I don't think she actually has a basis.
No, they got married. At the end of the movie, it points out that they got married.
I mean, oh, really? Well, yeah, she wasn't in the BBC documentary that I watched.
Okay, but I mean, she might not have played the same role or very much of it. They needed her to be the drama or whatever else. But yeah, at the end of it, it tells what happens to different kids. And what was interesting is that I guess that they have concluded, and I'm skeptical about this, that this experience has not actually harmed any of these kids in any way.
Oh, I think
for the future.
I think it has.
I mean, maybe not. It was 6 days, right? Let's be honest. So it was 6 days.
Okay, so
And they came out of it just fine at the end. Like at the end of it, you can kind of wash it off you and it's done. But and I'm sure it affects the way they look at things, like the way they see things differently. Hopefully in a humanitarian type way, right? But did it actually cause them any future harm? That's what I don't know. I'm skeptical about. I have a feeling the person that was looking at them was trying to get those results. So I'm skeptical, but I don't know.
I think a lot can change the way you view the world, John.
Yeah.
I think even small decisions and things that I look back at, in my life, like those are things that have changed me forever, and better for worse, and it maybe not traumatically, but it definitely has an effect.
Yeah.
These 5 days affected every single one of these, even some of the guards that didn't really abuse their power. Right? They were just not, they will remember that they didn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, I mean, I assume that this affected the way these people looked at life to some extent
forever.
Yeah, but did it cause them actual harm? I don't know. This thing is I could see potential where it could have, but who knows? They said it. They said it didn't. They said they went to counseling and whatever.
None of them seem to be having.
It turns out that one can never hold a relationship again as a chronic masturbator. But that's maybe something completely unrelated. Who knows?
John, I picked the movie.
Oh, I want to hear this. By the way, you know what I loved about that movie particularly? Like our conversation about it wasn't just about was the acting good? Was it bad versions of Beatles songs? Right?
No, that's the movie I picked, John. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
This is a movie I haven't seen, so I don't know the quality of it, but we're gonna watch it anyway. Okay.
No, I love that. I love that aspect.
Yeah. There's a new documentary. It's a Netflix original documentary. It's called Nobody Speak: Trials of the Free Press.
Oh, is it the one that has Hulk Hogan on the front?
I don't know that for sure, John. I'm looking at just the title card.
Hold on, I gotta look at this because I think I've seen this pop up. I have a movie. If you want to do another movie like this, where we can watch a movie about a real thing that happened. I've got to find it. I've seen it before. It'll trigger some conversation.
I think this is going to spark more conversation than it is going to be about the movie itself, which I think is the
what's it called? Nobody Speak?
Nobody Speak: Trials of the Free Press.
Yeah.
Netflix original documentary.
Yeah, so Hulk Hogan's court case against Gawker Media sheds light on wealthy, powerful figures who challenge freedom of the press in order to silence critics.
Yes.
Okay, let me add that to my list. So that's what we're watching next week. Nobody Speak: Trials of the Free Press. It's a Netflix original. It says 96% match on my thing.
Yep. It's gonna be good.
But I think the week afterwards, we have to continue this movies about real things, and I've got a really disturbing but really good one.
This could be our niche. We could just do documentaries and life portrayal, like actual event stuff. Like
we'll have to see if we can find enough of those. We might.
I think okay. This is my jam. These are my kinds of movies. So
okay, yeah, we'll see if we can keep it up. We'll see if we can do it. So here is a couple things to close out the episode.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
One, Sean Capri wrote, "Forget being cool, white privilege got us down."
No, not putting that in the title.
That is a great title. I'm sorry, I've already given the show a title, and I think that title might push people away.
Yeah, I think we have to be cautious of our titles.
Secondly, he points out, and I meant to mention this earlier, We the Gamercast on Monday coming up. If you don't listen to the show regularly, listen to it on Monday. My co-host from Generational Gamers, one of my best friends, Ben Butler, is the guest. I am super excited because I am too. I only like lightly know what they might have talked about, but obviously don't know what he said.
Yep.
And if you listen to Generational Gamers, you'll realize that sometimes Ben talks. Sometimes I get Ben talking, right? And when I do, he's very, very interesting to listen to, right? He knows what he's talking about. He's very, very, very intelligent, and he's not as excited and passionate always sounding, right? But he's very interesting to just listen to him talk about certain topics, right? Yeah. So I'm very, very, very excited to listen to this. on Monday morning. So you too should be listening to We the Gamercast. Subscribe to it. One day it'll be on Dayspace.
Yeah,
One
Sean. Now we're behind.
Maybe this weekend. Maybe you're pooping.
Maybe you're pooping right now.
All right, Dave, why don't you
join the bowel movement, of course, started by our friend Sean Capri to write reviews on iTunes. In the words of Zach Erickson, it may change the world. Of course, guys, you can get all our show notes, the music, the links for our Twitter accounts at forgetbeingcool.com, powered by the Dayspace Podcast Network. Sunday night, I'll be on the Greenie Podcast with Tim Greenfield from the Greenie Podcast. And it's not a family-friendly show. And stay tuned to my Twitter, because I will be streaming a ton of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Why don't you just subscribe to the YouTube channel?
You could just subscribe to the Dayspace YouTube channel and click that.
Turn on alerts.
You could turn on that little bell, because the subscription boxes are broken and don't actually send out alerts. So YouTube had to write new code.
Yeah, click the bell. And that way also you'll know when we come live.
Right. You'll also be able to listen to Forget Being Cool live Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings, and sometimes evenings when John works other shifts. John?
Apparently, Dave, you've still never touched a bot. Or a boy.
I've never touched a bot, but I want to so bad.
You can...
Everybody,
hold on.
Hold on.
But also, I've never touched a boy, and I want to so bad.
The greatest clip ever sent to us, ever.
John?
What's up, man?
It's been Forget Being Cool, episode 12 for June 30th, 2017. I'm Dave Moore. That's Johnny Casino. We'll see you Monday morning. Right? Morning, right?
Yeah, Monday morning. Bye, guys.
Monday morning, 8:30 a.m.
With
Eastern.
a new way of doing This Week in History, which I'm hoping I have time to get ready for this weekend, because it's going to take a little bit extra work.
Eastern Daylight Time. Bye, guys.
All right, I've cut the feed. Or I've cut the... So